So how do the phases of the moon seem to affect us if there's no real change in the moon itself? The moon doesn't really effectively get further or closer during these phases. It doesn't change size. The Earth doesn't change. The only really obvious thing or perceptible thing seems to be that what we see of the moon changes. So the amount of light reflected back, or the shape of the light that's reflected back. But it's clear that this does have some kind of an effect. I mean, it's been documented through history, you know, the word lunacy, just people tend to maybe commit more crimes, things like that. Well, I think it's related to a couple of things. And I'm going to start with the morphogenic field that Rupert Sheldrake talks about. So each time a ritual is performed, each time something happens, like something is learned, there is kind of this mark made in this morphogenic field, this field that encapsulates us, maybe called the Akashic Records, and it holds this information. It holds this record of these things that have been done before. So as people act a little bit crazier during the full moon, which I will get to in just a second, they leave an imprint in this morphogenic field. And the imprint in the field then makes it so that the next time there's a full moon, people already are working off of this pre-existing imprint, and so they kind of get a little bit crazier. And then that goes back into the field and they get a little bit crazier the next time still. But I think another factor is in how much light is reflected back from the moon. And there is a circadian rhythm that almost all creatures have. And I think the moon would disrupt that a little bit when it's in a full moon stage, because there's more light. So you would stay up later, you'd get a little less sleep. Maybe you or different creatures are a little bit more active or a little bit less active based on what type of creature they are. People can see a little bit better, so they tend to do a little bit more at night. Night tends to be the time when people get into trouble. So there's just going to be more lunacy, more troublemaking, that kind of stuff, all simply because there's more light. But then you add in that morphogenic field that I was referring to, and so now it duplicates and replicates itself and feeds back off of that morphogenic field, so that now everything gets more and more agitated. It gets more and more crazy, active, troublesome, all of these things because of that feedback loop. So the moon itself doesn't really have an effect on us. It's more the fact that it has had a small effect replicated and fed back into that system over time, so that now when the phase of the moon changes to a full moon, it's much more powerful than it would have been, say, 200,000 years ago or 1,000,000 years ago or whatever it might be, because that lunacy, that agitation of creatures is more and more intense as time goes on, because it amplifies the morphogenic field, which then amplifies the effect. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and remember to always share this video with somebody you don't like. Have a great day.